welcome to my review of Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. I just got done waking up really early this morning and going to film a short film, which I'm like 90% done with, so keep an eye out for that. And I have a really bad headache right now, so please apologize. I apologize. Please forgive me if I'm being sort of low energy today. But yeah, I'll try to do this the best I can. I'm reviewing Halloween 5, and I warn you, dear viewer, this review is not for the faint of heart. And because this movie is scary, quite the opposite. But I'm going to absolutely slaughter this movie. It's maybe one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Like, ever. Like, look at this. I usually have a good, mixed bad. I ran out of room for the bad things on this movie. So, strap in. It should be a fun time. Starting off with the goods. I don't like the beginning scene as to how it explains why Michael is alive. I do enjoy its Halloween 2-esque opening. Where it picks up right where the first one, or where the fourth one left off, or actually a little bit before it ended. And like, the scene with the mine shaft, like it's a 20-foot tall mine shaft. That's really cool to me, and like the police looking down with their guns, and they throw dynamite in it. I actually really like that scene. It's a good refresher on what happened in the last movie. So yeah. Loomis's line about "I prayed that he would burn in hell, but I knew in my heart that hell would not have him." That line is amazing. It's probably one of the best Loomis lines in the series, and I'm giving a lot to this movie for that. It's the thought that Michael Myers is so evil that the deepest pit of hell refuses him because he is so evil is perfect to me. I love that. And maybe that's the reason he can't die, because the only place he can go won't have him. So, yeah, that's actually a really cool line. Myers stalking in this movie, there's some parts I like, and like the fact that he just appears and disappears at random is really cool. The way how he can just navigate somebody's house, like being 5 feet from them, is really cool. It does beg the question, why are they not able to see or hear him? But anyway, but some stupid things, like when they're walking around and Myers is just aimlessly wandering instead of just watching them, makes it seem stupid and almost ruins it. But I actually really enjoy the stalking element of this. Excuse me, I'm looking at my notes. The Steadicam in this movie is actually better than the last one. Its use during like chase scenes and like when the kids are walking around is actually a lot steadier. It looks a lot better than the last one. So yeah, it actually was better than the other one. The kills in this movie are not bad. Not bad. Some guy gets like a thing to the head, I can't remember. Some guy gets like raked through the back. Some guy, gets their head cut off with a scythe or something like that. I can't remember. There's car deaths, and, there's just a lot of really interesting kills in this. But yeah, that's one of the better parts. And the farm scene in general, is actually really good. It's got the fall vibe. It's very suspenseful, very spooky, and yeah, it seems like, when I get this far into it and I'm still saying good things about it, you're like, well, Jack, the movie can't possibly be that bad. But every time you think it can't be that bad, it just tells you hold my beer. The car chase through the field after the farm, and I thought you'd never see a car chase in a Michael Myers movie, but is actually really good. The way he like chases them and the headlights and the cinematography is great. Um, and yeah, it's a really cool scene. And the fact that there's so many dang police officers in this movie searching for Michael Myers, I really like. That kind of adds to his mystique, if you will, of he can so like he's so good at just being everywhere and nowhere that like 1,000 police officers can't find him. And the laundry chute scene in the Myers house, I actually really enjoy. Where he where he stabs her the laundry chute with Jamie in it, and she's like trying to get away from them. I really like that scene. I think it's a nice scene. Sheriff Meeker's really good in this movie. He's obviously going through some stuff because Michael Myers killed his daughter, and he's like really upset about that. So, he's at Loomis levels of trying to stop him. Loomis in the first two movies, not what he is now, of like getting everybody, and I mean like everybody, looking for this guy. And excuse me. In the chase scene at the end, when he comes down the stairs and the shadow is on the wall and he slowly comes down, it's a really good scene and it's a really good shot. So yeah, those are all the good things about it. Now you may think I've been giving this movie a pretty easy time. It doesn't get any better. The psychic connection between Jamie and Michael is mixed for me. There's some things I do really like about it. Like, I don't know, like the scene at the beginning, when there's thunder and he wakes up and he goes to kill the guy. And, yeah, Haddonfield, Illinois is like leading the world in having thunderstorms the night before Halloween. Like in all these movies, that happens at some point. I don't get it, but maybe you do. So yeah, it's a very mixed bag for me. I kind of like it, I kind of don't. So, and the Man in Black, in this movie is fine. I mean, there's sort of a mystery behind him and what his motivations are. But it kind of gives it this feeling that Michael Myers is being controlled by this guy. And I'll tell you something, Michael freaking Myers is not controlled by anybody. Michael Myers is the controller, not the controllee. So that's probably the part I don't like. But yeah, that's about where the mix ends. So strap yourselves in. It's gonna be fun. So I'm on my second time rewatching the entire series, and even when I rewatched it the first time, Halloween was 5 was still far and away the worst movie for me. A lot of people give Resurrection that title, Halloween Resurrection. Halloween Resurrection is not a good movie, not even a fine movie by any stretch of the imagination. But I can't think of how much more disrespectful you could be to the shape than in this movie. So let's just jump into the bed. I'm just gonna have my notes here. A lot of people like the opening credits. I'm not one of them. What's it supposed to be? Michael Myers carving a pumpkin? Unless you're carving a pumpkin out of a human head, Michael Myers doesn't indulge in October festivities. Michael Myers doesn't carve pumpkins. Who's carving the pumpkin? Could it be somebody else? If it is, why do we care that they're carving the pumpkin? That may be a little nitpicky, but you just came off of Halloween 4, which had probably one of the best opening credits in the entire series, only rivaled by the first one. And you give us this? This is the best you could give us? Michael Myers carving a freaking jack-o'-lantern? I suppose it gives it that Halloween vibe. But I don't get it. I don't. And the retcon is stupid. Here's what it is. Michael Myers, after almost being blown up by dynamite, get this, crawls out of the mine shaft, into a creek, and stays with an old hermit for a year. Do I even have to explain why this is bad? I will. First of all, the shots of Michael Myers freaking army crawling through a tunnel in the ground is stupid enough on its own. But then how he escapes, seeing the boogeyman, the shape, bobbing in the freaking water like he's a 3-year-old without floaties. Are you telling me this is a man who can kill 20 people with 20 bullets in his chest, yet if the water gets too rough, he can't swim? Are you freaking kidding me? I mean, if it seemed like Myers was sort of in control of the situation, then yeah. But he looks like he's just bobbing for his life. And you could say, well, Jack, he had a bunch of bullets in his chest. He got shot by a shotgun a couple times. Why does that matter? Do you not understand what the shape is? What Michael Myers is? Michael Myers is the monster under every kid's bed, or the monster in every kid's closet. Michael Myers is the noise you hear in the middle of the night that makes you want to hide under your covers. And you have him bobbing in the freaking water. I hate to reiterate that, but it's so stupid to me. And then he just stays with this hermit for a year, and then just wakes up on Halloween Eve. And great job calling it Halloween Eve instead of October 30th. And what was the hermit doing with it? Was he just laying there for a year? I don't know. I don't. But let's move on. Jamie's a mute in this movie for a lot of it. Why? You have probably one of the best actors in this movie, and you have them not be able to speak. You literally shut them up. Why? And then she's doing these stupid movements with, like... And it just looks silly to me. And it's a stupid thing to do. It's a stupid thing to do. I just can't with this movie. And then the nurse comes in, and the nurse's acting it's not great. It's not great. Jamie, it's just one of your nightmares. I can't talk, of course. If you watch my short films, I may not be that great of an actor. But, you know, what I am is a great critic. Or not even probably that. I'm not really good at anything, guys. I'll just let you know that. But, you know, I am going to review this movie however I dang well please. So, yeah, the nurse's acting sucks. Moving on. The whole Thorn thing and the psychic connection with the Thorn symbol, it's whatever. I mean, this writer was obviously just kind of pulling things out of his butt, and then in Halloween 6, the writer had to tie everything together from all the stupid stuff from the last film. Because, I mean, all of this stuff seems very loosely connected, which is weird. The Mask. Probably one of the worst things in this movie. How hard is it to get a good William Shatner mask? I literally just bought one for like $60. This movie's budget was $5 million. I bought mine for less than $100. And yes, it's from Trick or Treat Studios, and yes, there's legalities, but you can at least try. And this one, it looks like a freaking alien. It doesn't look anything like the Michael Myers mask. And it's supposed to be the same mask from the fourth one. And that one wasn't great, but compared to this one, that one looked better than the one from the original. If that makes any sense. The mask, it's too long. He won't tuck it in his collar. So, if you dress up as Michael Myers, and you have the coveralls, you have to put your mask on and then flip the collar over the mask where the neck is. He won't do that, and it's annoying. It's one of my OCD things. It's annoying as heck. And the mask is like really long, and the eyes look weird, and it's all dirty, and it just sucks, guys. It just sucks. But anyway, many have credited this movie with having a good fall feel, but I can only say that at night, because when they're walking during the day, it looks like a park in spring, which is probably when they filmed it. But you know, in Halloween 1978, they filmed it in March, and this they probably could have filmed in October. They had the budget, they had the time, they had the effort. But no. You know, Dean Cundey and John Carpenter made it look like the Midwest in fall. These people didn't even try. The only reason that there was any sort of fall feel was that maybe a couple trees didn't have their leaves, and we didn't even see the leaves. There's a little bit of a fall atmosphere around Rachel's house with leaves and stuff like that, but it doesn't feel like Halloween. And that's something that these movies have to nail down, is the Halloween feel. And then we get to the worst part of this movie. The most annoying character I have seen in a movie. Pee Wee Herman and Roger Rabbit could only hope, could only dream to be this annoying. I'm, of course, talking about the infamous Tina. God. Every scene she's in, there are very few scenes where I don't cringe when she's on screen. There's not much to say that hasn't already been said. She has so many stupid moments, so many stupid lines, so many lines that I just hate. And she just sucks. That's really the thing for this entire movie. It just sucks. You know, there's not much else to say than that. But anyway, when Tina shows up at the hospital, somebody has a rock thrown through the window with a note that says, "The evil child must die." Okay? So they're basically saying that Jamie has been scapegoated for all that happened. Where do I even start? So they're blaming her for being related to Michael Myers. Have anything from the family of Ted Bundy, Jeffrey Dahmer, Charles Manson? Do you hear anything about them getting thrown through their window? I haven't. They wouldn't blame the family, they would blame the killer. And they wouldn't say crap like the evil child must die. I mean, they're not evangelicals in the South. Sorry. They wouldn't talk like that. Maybe they'd say she did it, or it's her fault, or her uncle's neighbor's pet's dog murdered a bunch of people. That's a joke. I know it's her uncle. But these are all real nitpicks, but it's just kind of stupid to me. Another thing that a lot of people hate, the freaking cops. The bumbling cops in this movie with their little clown noises and their little, I don't freaking know. They make like their little clown noises. They're not terrible actors, but you don't need to play clown noises to let somebody know that somebody is inept or stupid. I mean, do they play clown noises when, I don't know. It's a stupid thing to do. It's a stupid thing that happened. And yeah. And another thing, killing off Rachel so early. An archive Halloween character, somebody that everyone loves. I don't even really like Rachel all that much, but I can still see that this was a stupid decision. I mean, I suppose you can give her the Marion Crane treatment, but I don't really like it because it seems like they're trying to do it so Tina can be the new final girl, which is stupid on its own. It really is, And if you're defending this movie, if you're like counterpointing all these points, just watch the movie you're defending without, the lens of this movie's fine. And you'll see how stupid this movie actually is. I know I've said stupid and sucks a lot in this video. Those are the two words that best describe this movie. In a nutshell, I suppose I don't have to make a 30-minute long video saying why it's stupid and it sucks, but it's my channel, But in lieu of making outright stupid decisions, they decide to play the old standards. Like Loomis saying something about how Michael was evil and inhuman. He's done this like 40 times throughout the series. I mean, his lines were cool in the first one and even the second one, but now it just seems like we're watching reruns. I mean, his hell line is cool, but that's about where it ends for me. He just keeps saying the same thing over and over and over and over and over. It just gets really annoying. And Michael, of course, it really takes a lot to feel like Michael Myers, to act like Michael Myers. Nick Castle and Dick Warlock were able to do it pretty well. George P. Wilbur can really do it. This one, I can't remember who plays him. But he can sometimes not feel like Myers just from the things he does. Myers wouldn't do these kinds of things. He wouldn't wander around aimlessly, and he wouldn't just kind of, it's like he's trying to be Michael Myers. You don't try to be Michael Myers. You are Michael Myers or you aren't. And, yeah, and the characters in this movie, they're stock characters. They're body counts. You don't care about them. And even in the original 1978, I dare say, you kind of don't care about the characters besides Laurie and the kids. But here, it just seems like that's all they are just stock characters. Myers. Just people who are there to get killed. And that's probably what they are. Then we get an absolutely stupid scene in this movie. Tina goes into a car outside a house that she thinks her boyfriend. And her boyfriend's name is Michael, by the way. Two people named Michael. And they do this joke like 8,000 times where she calls him Michael. And she doesn't know that's actually Michael Myers. And that's not even the biggest sin in this scene. The biggest sin is that, like, Michael Myers is wearing a different mask. You don't do that. Michael Myers doesn't wear anything but the white mask and the overalls. You don't put him in freaking other hobo masks. He doesn't need to switch masks or switch clothes. And that's what other sequels forget. Michael Myers doesn't need to do switcheroos with clothes or with masks. He doesn't need to. But yeah, I may be sounding like a purist, a man-child, as you might call me, but it's my opinion. The Cookie Woman scene, the infamous Cookie Woman scene, where there's a billboard where there's a woman advertising cookies, and they're trying to figure out what Jamie's saying because she has some psychological connection. It's a cringy, it's a stupid, it makes you laugh, but not for the right reasons, scene, and I don't really like it. And what else? We're getting through this, guys. The movie, there's a 2-in-1. The movie seems boring towards the end, and it just won't end. It's boring, and which it shouldn't be. There's a very blurred line between suspenseful and boring, and this one is definitely over the border. It just seems, like it's just boring. When you have something else to do or something like that, like I had to go somewhere, it's not going to keep you interested enough to where you don't think about that. You're just going to keep thinking, how long till I get to stop this movie so I can do that? And that's part of it not ending. This movie has like 18 different endings, and it's just, I don't know. It goes to the Myers house, and then all the people leave, and then there's a scene in the laundry chute in the attic, and then Loomis beats him up, and then they go to the police station, but then the police station gets exploded. Like, just end the damn movie already. Like, excuse my language, but, I mean, it just doesn't end. And while we're on that, let's talk about the Myers house. Or lack thereof. This is not the Myers house, it's a gothic mansion. The Myers house was an old wartime home, 2 stories. It's not that hard, guys. Some guy in North Carolina built a scale model of it, and it looks perfect. Let's just keep going. It's not, it looks too gothic, looks too big. It doesn't look a thing like the Myers house. This is amazing to me. Nobody can get the mask right. Nobody can get the Myers house right. Like, when people like Trick or Treat Studios can make perfect screen accurate masks, when people like some guy with no money in North Carolina can make a perfect Myers house, and these people with millions of dollars can't do the job. They just don't care enough about the series. And that's just appalling to me. But let's move on, I guess. There's just too many fake scares in this, like cats jumping out or squirrels or I don't even know. Like just oh gee, there's a noise. I hope it's not Michael Myers. Oh boy, it's Michael Myers. Like that's it's not Michael Myers. It's a dog. It's a cat. It's a squirrel. I can't think of anything else. There's just too many of those kinds of scenes, and it just I just don't like it. I just don't like it. Excuse me. Why would the police leave the house? Why would all the police leave the house? If they thought, and not an eyewitness, just thought Myers might be at that clinic, why would all of them leave? With only one staying. One cop staying. Why? Why would not one cop car just say, hey, I'll keep a watch over the place? Why did they all have to leave? I mean, I know why, but it's just too contrived to me. And there's a lot of scenes in this movie where the audio seems dubbed. It's almost funny how the lines sound. It's amusing to me. So then they're at the Myers house where this movie, and remember what I said earlier about being disrespectful to what the shape is? This is textbook. This is less than textbook. This is those little books you get at, like, when you're 6, and they just have a big picture and maybe like 8 words a page. Textbook would probably be too hard. This was like a little kid's book being disrespectful to what Michael Myers is. He goes up there, and Jamie gets in a coffin and says, Uncle? And then he takes off his mask. That's not, it gets worse. Then Michael Myers, the boogeyman, starts crying. Doesn't in there either, guys. Sorry to say, but it doesn't. And then Michael, is trapped by Loomis. He's shot with a tranquilizer gun, and then he's beaten to death with a plank. And this was supposed to be Loomis's death of a stroke, swinging a board around. Are you serious? Are you serious? Loomis should have gone out in the fire. Or it should have been something like that if you really wanted to kill him off. Be like the fire at the end of Halloween 2. Not having a stroke from swinging a board and Michael goes to jail. But then Michael goes to jail, and this is another bad scene, guys. He's just sitting in a jail cell with his chains, looking down, being like, oh, shucks, I got caught. No, dang it. Remember what I said in my first review about Michael Myers not needing to worry about getting caught? That was never an issue. This movie, I almost can't with this movie. But then at the end, it throws one last curveball. And the man in black comes in with a Tommy gun, starts shooting up the place full of cops. Full of cops, mind you. And then Michael gets set free. And it tries to set itself up like the end of the original. If only. If only. I can't tell you how many things are wrong with this movie. But it sucks. So anyway, guys, this movie sucks. It's stupid and it sucks. It does everything wrong, almost everything, and it's far and away the worst movie in the series. So yeah, I'd probably give it a negative 0.5 out of 5. Thank you.